Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night to whomever, whichever, however, wherever way you shall be watching this video, if you should choose to watch this video. And if you choose to watch this video, I appreciate you taking the time out of your day to listen to what I have to say for this little bit of time. Your time is precious and valuable, and you chose to spend it here listening to what I have to say. Today's subject is going to be what life means to me. Now, life, you can say, can be a controversial subject if you want to say what something means in that regard, what life means in that regard. But regardless of any kind of personal political beliefs, even this is more, you could say, my more own personal belief. But I try to base my logic. Well, I try to base it off of logic and just what is established, what is known. You can say there's spiritual tones to it, there's religious tones to it. I like to think that my point of view or my opinion of that is a combination of variety of pretty much of those different areas. So life is very fragile, but very resilient, very abundant in certain places, but very uh, distant and very scarce in this universe, at least. That is to my understanding. Um, Life to us has a lot of meaning, obviously, because we have gotten to a point in our journey in this universe to learn to love and appreciate what we have in each other and just life in general. Besides, we need life, we need other life forms to rely upon to survive. There needs to be balance with pretty much every aspect of life. That goes from consumption to what you share, how much life there is, to just really when you think about it across the board. Now, forgive me for kind of stuttering and stammering. Just more, I'm trying to contemplate and trying to word it in a way that is, I want to say not controversial, but more equally resonant, equally sound to almost everybody. But even then, obviously, there's always somebody that's not going to agree. I like to believe life is valuable, life is precious. Again, life is fragile. We need to be cognizant of how we treat one another, how we treat other life forms. Otherwise, it is more destructive than it is preserving. And I like to hold a position of preservation and destruction. And in that holding that mentality of preservation requires you to be cognizant and smart in knowing or in finding that balance, so that things don't spiral out of control or there's an imbalance. I like to think we as individuals should more look after ourselves to a certain degree in what we consume and what we provide and what we give to others, if that makes any sense. But in the bigger picture, to me, is life is something that is that should be preserved as much as possible in this universe for however long as we can try to preserve it, if we have the capacity to do so, and which we do right now. bearing in mind that we don't continue down a destructive end or an outcome. But even let's say we destroy ourselves, or if it's because of us that we destroy a lot of the life here on this planet, or even if it's just some natural calamity that does it in for a majority of life forms, there will still be life, regardless, just much less of it, and over time hopefully you can recoup and there'll be different types of life forms. But when there is an opportunity, an environment for which life could potentially sprout and grow, there is almost always a matter of time that is crucial in that development. So I imagine that in this universe, in other solar systems, and other galaxies, life had a chance to sprout, but was cut short. Meaning there could have been life forms that could have been like us, or monkeys, whoever, similar in their evolutionary scale, that had their progress stunted or stopped because of some event that may have occurred, or even maybe the chance of some events that may have been caused by another kind of life form, but from another planet, who knows, or not even planet, or that is a spacefaring life form. I mean, we're all spacefaring life forms. But life is important. Cherish and value it as much as you can. Value each other. Take a moment out of your day to recognize and send appreciation. Just acknowledge somebody who's in your life, what they mean to you, and what you mean to them, in a positive way, in a productive, healthy, loving way, preferably. Because again, although life is abundant and has been around on this planet for millions of years, unfortunately, you and I, in this current form, is only temporary and only here for not even a fraction of that time. I think without going much further into depth in that, to discussing individuality, or the spiritual aspects of it, because that's another area that can be controversial, and which I usually try to keep it, again, I try to keep it more centered, so to speak. But yeah, hopefully all this made sense to some degree. If not, sorry. I still wrap my head around it. When you deal with all the different points of views, or current understanding, and religious stuff, and spiritual tones, and just really trying to understand as many viewpoints, as many areas, or as many pretty much a variety of different viewpoints and observations that have been made over the course of humanity's existence. But yeah, so thank you for tuning in. I appreciate you watching. If you gained anything from this video, if you learned something or made you think a certain way, I think I did my job. I hope you have a great remainder of your day. If it's not going great, remember that it's only temporary. Whatever you're dealing with, that's being a struggle towards you, is temporary, will go away. Remember that you are cherished, loved, and valued. You mean the world to yourself, you mean the world to others. Always don't be afraid to reach out and talk to somebody if you need to. You're never alone in what you're dealing with. There's always someone there. It's just a matter of reaching out. But yeah, I appreciate you tuning in. Thanks for watching, and I hope you have a great remainder of your day, night, or evening. What have you. Bye bye.